MDA Space is a world leader in wide area space-based radar Earth observation, and it's really through the highly successful RadarSat program here in Canada. So RadarSat 2 really provides critical information following really natural and man-made type of disasters such as earthquakes, hurricanes, oil spills, and flooding. RadarSat 2 really is used to measure the damage and aid recovery efforts in those circumstances. It's really about keeping watch over Earth. We build upon that RadarSat heritage for our next generation Earth observation mission, which we call MDA Chorus. This is a collaborative multi-sensor satellites constellation, and it will provide the most extensive radar imaging capacity available on the market in one system. In other words, we always say we can help you find that needle in a haystack.
Hello and welcome to WGIC, the World Geospatial Industry Council. Our guest today is Dr. Minda Suchan, Vice President of Geointelligence at MDA Space. Dr. Minda, thank you so much for joining us this conversation.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very excited that MDA Space is joining WGIC.
Fantastic. So let's get started with this simple question. MDA Space has an exceptional heritage of over 5 decades in building space infrastructure, commercial satellites, the radar SAR series especially, and downstream applications for a number of industries, right? Can you enumerate what are the latest innovations from MDA Space in geospatial and Earth observation segments?
Absolutely. Well, first, let me start by saying that MDA Space is a world leader in wide area space-based radar Earth observation, and it's really through the highly successful RadarSat program here in Canada. So we have over 30 years of experience supporting numerous operational and scientific uses for synthetic aperture radar. We call that SAR data. SAR satellites are really able to image in all different weather conditions, day or night. And the very first, Canada's first Earth observation satellite was called RadarSat 1, and it was launched in 1995. In 2007, RadarSat 2 was launched, where it produced over 75,000 images per year and over 1 million images to date. And it's still actively imaging and creating a great archive of imagery that provides really a unique perspective and insights into the evolution of Earth. In 2019, Canada's government also launched another RadarSat constellation mission. This was a 3-satellite configuration, and it was really to increase that SAR daily global area coverage. And so we here at MDA Space, we've built all of these different RadarSats, and we build upon that RadarSat heritage for our next generation Earth observation mission, which we call MDA Chorus. This is a collaborative multi-sensor satellites constellation, and it will provide the most extensive radar imaging capacity available on the market in one system, where it ranges from a broad area coverage of around 700 kilometers wide swath to sub-meter with really high resolution spotlight images. So in other words, we always say we can help you find that needle in a haystack.
Fantastic. So that's a great way of putting what all a high-resolution Earth observation imagery can do. But tell me something, is the first satellite in the Chorus series has already been launched?
Not yet. No, we're planning on launching Chorus, and we're going to likely launch 2 satellites. One is what we call the broad area C-band satellite, and the second one is going to be an X-band, which is a smaller satellite, but likely they will be launched later in Q4 of 2025.
All right. Thank you so much. But let's talk about the radar SAR-2, which is currently operational. MDA Space is one of the largest space data providers, as you have mentioned. I want to understand how are MDA Space customers putting this near real-time all-weather imagery to use? Would you want to cite a couple of examples and how they're benefiting both in terms of qualitative and quantitative ways?
Absolutely. So RadarSat-2 really provides critical information following really natural and man-made type of disasters such as earthquakes, hurricanes, oil spills, and flooding. This is all, so RadarSat-2 really is used to measure the damage and aid recovery efforts in those circumstances. Radar satellites can also map complex landscapes and really allow us to start tracking like shifting ice in the Arctic to help ships navigate, or to monitor any kind of environmental changes in large ecosystems such as marshes and forests and farmland. It's really about keeping watch over Earth, even through cloud coverage, if it's dark outside, lightning storms, smog, all the different kind of weather constraints sometimes that other satellites have more difficulties operating through. Radar satellites can provide daily access to any point on Earth on over 90% of the world's surface.
Tell me something. Can you describe the Earth observation analytic solutions MDA Space provides to various sectors and industries? Maybe a couple of examples would help.
Sure. So, for example, we're a very strong, trusted partner of various industries and organizations and governments around the world. And it's all, again, involving detecting and monitoring changes caused by both human and natural activities around the Earth. And so our customers really count on advanced Earth and space observation solutions to deliver the timely, accurate, mission-critical data that they need when they need it. And so we are, for example, we can capture these images and provide them in various ways to different industry sectors and to solve various missions. So one of the main missions that we really get involved in and are, for example, our partners with the Canadian government and international fishery agencies. And this is in the maritime domain, where we really help the daily fight against illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, IUU. We have a platform which we call Maritime Insights, which pulls down our RadarSat-2 data and provides near real-time monitoring of fishing activity around the world and delivers this kind of actionable data that supports the dark vessel detection. Dark vessel, for example, are those ships that are and vessels that are in the ocean, and most vessels have to emit a signal that says who they are, where they are, and where they're going. And sometimes if these vessels decide they don't want to share that information, they turn off those signals and they become what we call dark vessels. And so our platform and all the data that we collect, including our RadarSat-2 data, helps detect these ships. And if they turn off their signal, we highlight that and we monitor them and report that behavior back to folks that care about whether or not they might be doing some illegal behavior on the water.
Right. On that note, an extended question is from data collection to information to analytics and actionable insights. That's the flow of the data. How is MDA Space leveraging the power of artificial intelligence? Say, for instance, the example that you have cited for maritime intelligence. How are you using artificial intelligence to provide such insights to your customers?
Absolutely. We are very excited about the power of artificial intelligence. And in some ways, we've been leveraging these kind of techniques and technology for many years into our exploitation offerings. And it's just really been exciting to see how it exploded on the commercial side of these kind of techniques as well. And so in our maritime platform, or for our maritime customers, in order to help combat, these types of illegal illegal behaviors, we use AI and deep learning to really improve the detection and the tracking of fishing vessels throughout the world's oceans. We also use it sometimes AI-based like behavior analytics solution. So example, if we can track and monitor where a vessel is moving and how it's moving, and certain tracks that they form and past where they've gone in past locations and how they circle around a particular location, we know that certain behaviors and certain vessel motions that are consistent with certain fishing activity. And then because of that, we can pull and use AI-based behavior analytics to help law enforcement agencies to decide, hey, are they doing something that they shouldn't be doing in waters that they shouldn't be in? And so these really are impactful, and having that AI, ML, machine learning techniques that we pull through that really enable those kind of insights to be formed and help empower our law enforcement agencies to kind of really focus their attention on where it's most needed.
Yeah, thank you so much for that enumeration, Dr. Minda. I also see that MDA Space has a very vast network of Earth observation satellite ground stations as well, right? Can you talk about the services provided by this extensive network and how they act as force multipliers and to facilitate Earth observation applications around the world?
Absolutely. Ground satellite stations are very important, especially if you want like near real-time data. You have to what we call on-prem, being able to directly downlink from the satellites and pull in the data and be able to do the analytics and the processing as quickly as possible to kind of really get that near real-time insights. And so many of our customers rely on that like timely intelligence to address their missions. And so various customers end up having sometimes their own satellite ground stations. Sometimes we provide what we call regional ground stations to various customers to really enable, again, it's all about that near real-time downlink to pull in the data when they need it. And so it really we can generate these kind of reports and processing within minutes of the images being collected, which is very, very important for a lot of our customers. So it really enhances the utilization of space-based information to address time-critical applications. Really, we have a combination of not just on-prem ground stations, but we have this very large infrastructure that various customers can leverage in various ways, and that is a great infrastructure. But we're also recognizing too that some customers like cloud-based solutions, and so for our Chorus MDA Chorus constellation, we're also enabling cloud-based ground stations that will again enhance that near real-time delivery of the data.
Okay. Fantastic. I just want to touch base upon a few trends in the new space economy. A recent World Economic Forum report estimates that the global space economy will grow at a rate of average growth rate of about 9% per annum. And given such growth predictions amid accelerated technology advancements, right, what can the geospatial industry expect? One, in terms of the professional applications, and two, in terms of mass market adoption or democratization of Earth observation data and applications in the near future, probably in the next 10 years or so.
Okay, well, listen, I think there's a lot of great technological advances throughout the value chain that are really enabling higher value products to be made available to users. We talked a little bit about AI ML, which really enhanced that kind of end user adaptation. You don't necessarily need to be a SAR expert in order to use or gain the value from SAR data. So very excited about that technical advancements. And but even if you go back into the value chain and you start with the satellite itself, right? Having technologies more available and the price point dropping such that more and more countries, more and more industries, and more companies can start to access space. I think those kind of technical advances continue to evolve and open up the market. So our customers tend to be very much focused on timely and relevant information to support their decision-making process. And so Right now, still though, the dominant applications of Earth observation is really around defense and intelligence, such as, I talked a little bit about maritime domain awareness and monitoring. You also get involved in infrastructure monitoring and energy related application and natural resources. So there's still continued investment by government agencies in Earth observation capabilities. And it really, again, starts to enable those downstream providers to make applications available to the wider market of users. And so how the data is used is really dependent on the application or the need of where the end user is focused on. So whether it's be agriculture or other type of markets, we want to make sure that the satellites, which kind of is heavy investment, right, to put a satellite into space, but then the back end downlink of the data as technology evolves and grows starts to become more applicable and move more, and that value of satellite data and Earth observation data can start being recognized by maybe markets and industries that wouldn't necessarily need or want or have the investment to put satellites in space, but they can start to gain that value in the downstream.
All right. Thank you for that enumeration. I take always pride that Earth observation data and technology enable the monitoring and achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, as you have rightly enumerated several examples. However, on the other side, the enormous and ever-expanding space infrastructure seems to threaten the very sustainability of space around the planet, something that we have been wanting to establish in the first place. Right. As a space surveillance player, what is MDA's space take on this aspect, and how are you taking many measures to balance this out?
So as part of my business here at MDA Space, in geointelligence, not only do I have an Earth observation where we have satellites that look down on Earth, but I also have what I call space observation, where I have programs and technologies that look up into space and really start kind of tracking space debris and having a level of awareness on space domain awareness. So the sustainability of space is still very critical for all operators and the users that rely on space infrastructure. So we are developing kind of space domain awareness capabilities and services that enable both government agencies and other commercial operators to really understand the environment in which they are deploying these high value assets, not only to protect and ensure that the high value assets are placed in the right orbit and won't be impacted by any like space debris or any other kinds of things that go on into space, but also to make sure that we understand the environment in which we're launching into. And that level of awareness can help us make better decisions on how and where we place assets in space as well.
All right, no worries. So the next part of this conversation is on association with WGIC. I see that MDA Space has recently joined WGIC and welcome on board. I want to understand what got MDA Space to commit to WGIC's mission.
So first of all, there's always going to be a lot of collaboration, I think, within Earth observation between government and industry. And it's necessary to achieve the kind of Earth observation mission goals. So we are thrilled to be joining the World Global Industry Council to collaborate with leading customers across the global geospatial ecosystem. Specifically, Earth observation really requires collaboration to solve global missions. For example, from a technical perspective, what we find is that there's usually different sensor modalities that are needed to solve critical mission needs, such as addressing illegal activities on the ocean. You need not only like radar images, but also alignment to the automated information system, AIS, signals to detect vessels that turn off their identifiers in order to hide illegal behavior, such as in the cases I mentioned before, dark vessels. So the providers then need to collaborate to jointly address problems in real time. And this can require national collaboration to pull in different capabilities across multiple platforms. I think that WGIC is uniquely positioned to enable these types of collaboration for Earth observation missions. And that is one of the key reasons we wanted to join the council.
Yeah, truly said. The collaboration is what brings members under one umbrella. On that note, WGIC offers, the membership offers a very vast aspects of the Earth observation, geospatial, GIS, and other elite technologies under one roof, right? So, what are any plans of how you want to leverage the complementary strengths that are available within the WGIC membership?
Well, first of all, we look forward to engaging with other members. And really, it's in that engagement where we hope to be able to drive and the innovation and continue to shape the future of our industry together for the benefit of the user community. So we're just looking forward to the engagement. This is our first time that we've joined the WGIC and starting to have these conversations. So we really just look forward to learning about all the different members and their capabilities, and then being able to reach out and look forward towards different collaborations and partnerships.
Great. Thank you so much. So we talked a bit about the accelerated technology that is happening, technology changes that are happening in the world, and the industry, geospatial industry is also in a great transformation, right? So how do you see the relevance of WGIC evolving the geospatial landscape in this backdrop?
So the application and demand for Earth observation really continues to grow, right?
Yes.
And you've talked about the market, and industry and government play really significant roles in bringing these capabilities to the different users to meet their different needs. So WGIC can really have a relevant impact on the successful adoption of space-based Earth observation. And we're excited to do this with you and leveraging your facilitation and reinforcing connections between industry, government, academia, and end users, and thereby enabling all of industry, to provide the right solutions.
Great. Thank you so much for this conversation, Dr. Minda.
Thank you.